How's it going, gamers? My name is Teach, and welcome back to Outdated Gaming. Today we are going to see how long I can survive in the nether in hardcore mode. I found myself in the middle of nowhere in a tunnel underground. Not much for me to work with, but at least it was relatively safe. I figured the best way for me to get out of that tunnel would be for me to mine down with my bare hands and find an area that's walkable and try to find a warped forest. I made it down to the bottom of the ravine and started to look around, and in the distance I saw what I was looking for. A warped forest. On the way, I found a ruined portal, and I knew I needed that loot inside if I was going to stand any chance against the nether. But between me and my goal was a problem. Piglins. Now normally these guys wouldn't pose much of a threat, but I didn't have any gold on me, so I knew I was screwed. I had the brilliant idea of trying to push a zombified piglin along with me to use as a human shield so that the piglins would leave me alone. But I think you could probably guess that went nowhere. Oh god. I noticed that there was a path of piglins to the portal, and I saw my chance and I took it. Please, oh please have some gold armor. Oh, thank God. Equipped with a gold chestplate, I knew that the nether had just become 40% safer, and now I could initiate phase 1 of the plan. Step 1, I needed to find a good location to set up camp. Step 2, I needed to gather some basic materials, wood, blackstone, to start making tools. Step 3, get enough gold to make some gold armor. Every bit of protection is going to count down here in the nether, especially on hardcore. I finally found my way to a warped forest and immediately started chopping down a tree. I noticed that I was losing hunger, fast, and I knew food was going to be an issue. Personally, I didn't want to be chowing down on rotten flesh, so I started searching for mushrooms for soup. First food source in hand, I wanted to find a spot to call home. Collected a little gold on the way. You know what? This is kind of a nice area. I mined my way into the side of this hill to make myself a little temporary hobbit hole. It ain't much, but it's home. I realized that living in a warped forest may not be the best idea, because Endermen would pose a massive threat. They hit hard. I decided to start tunneling to see if I could find myself some blackstone to use for tools. Never mind. I figured going down towards bedrock would probably be a better idea for getting blackstone. Once I hit bedrock, I almost immediately found some blackstone. Oh, blackstone, yes. This was huge. I can finally start using stone tools. I never thought I'd be happy to use stone tools. Now, with stone tools, I felt much more confident to explore some of the surface and gather some gold for my armor. Alright, we got enough for boots. Perfect. Fully kitted out. Let's go. Blinged out, let's go. Now that I had gold armor, I wanted to gather some soul sand to use to scare off piglins. Also grabbed some nearby glowstone to use for potions later on. Next up on my agenda was to make some soul torches, but I ran into a bit of a snag. I can't turn nether wood into charcoal. I heard an enderman screaming. He was mad at something, but I hadn't looked at any enderman. Surely it wasn't me, right? Is he mad at me? Oh. Shit, how am I gonna get out of this? Okay, stay calm. I'm not dead yet. If I exit and enter the world, I have a few seconds of invulnerability. I can use that. Oh. Dude, I thought I was so dead. My hand is like shaking still. Oh my god, I'm so stressed. Alright, Endermen were going to be a bigger problem than I originally anticipated. I did not want to live in a warped forest anymore. To calm my nerves, I decided to renovate the base a little bit. I installed a warped slab floor to stop any mobs from spawning with a 2.5 block tall ceiling so Endermen couldn't get in, even if they wanted to. Now that phase 1 is out of the way, we can initiate phase 2, infrastructure. Step 1, get a stable food source. We will be dining on only the best pork chops from Hoglins. Step 2, get a stable wood source. We need to create a safe space for me to farm warped and crimson trees to use as building materials. Step 3, piglin bartering. Piglin bartering is going to be a massive part of this playthrough. Piglin bartering can get me lots of different resources, but we're only interested in a few for right now. The potions we will use to withstand any of the fiery attacks of the nether. The blackstone will be used as a crafting material for tools and a building material. Iron nuggets we will use for a ton of different things. And the soul speed boots and the soul sand we will use for our highway later on. I used one of the iron ingots from the ruined portal to make a shield for protection. First things first, we need a renewable food source. I only had a few mushrooms and there's no way to get any more. So I created a fenced in area to trap hoglins, and I found this baby hoglin wandering around alone and figured I should kidnap him. Uh-oh. Aha, gotcha. Next up, I led a couple of adult hoglins into the fence and started the baby making. Oh yeah. Now, hoglin farms are not quite the same as cow farms because cows don't actively try to murder you. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Another problem that I ran into was that piglin archers were poaching my hogs, so I decided a too high fence was a necessity. Then to breed them, I created a staircase to get up on the fence and feed the hogs, and then I kill a couple, then I place a warp fungus near where I killed them so that they all run away and I can collect my food. I also wanted to set up an area to safely chop down nether trees so I can get some more building materials. I started construction on a tower to encase one nether tree so that I could chop down a tree in complete safety. I wanted to use crimson wood for the walls, but I completely ran out and was scared to go collect more in the actual forest. When I tried to grow some on the warp nylium, I realized that I couldn't. Apparently, you have to grow the fungus on the corresponding nylium. So I tunneled over in the direction of the Crimson Forest and found an ancient debris on the way, whoop whoop, which was nice, and then dug up to the surface and spread some Crimson Nylium over to my tree farm so I could grow both kinds of trees. I got my tower high enough that I was pretty much safe from any kind of attack. I'll put a roof on it later. I also realized I needed renewable warped and crimson fungus, so I set up these little 5x5 areas of nylium to grow more fungus and use the sprouts to get some more bone meal back. Holding down right click on a composter for 3 stacks of blocks is so annoying. I need iron for some hoppers real bad. Next up, I made this little bartering booth to trap a piglin in to safely trade with piglins, but unfortunately I really don't have much gold to trade. So I wanted to set up a basic gold farm. I'm not terribly concerned with XP at the moment, only gold. So I made this basic fall pit trap to kill zombie piglins and gather the gold. Next, I wanted to upgrade this gold farm just a bit. Since I can't use iron golems or turtle eggs, the only bait I can use is myself. And since, I don't want to die, I wanted something a little more efficient and safe. Now with access to unlimited gold, I can do much more bartering. Phase 2 is now complete. This gold is much more of a very slow trickle, unfortunately, so I'm gonna go another route. How is it only 11? That's like nothing. It's time for Phase 3, Diamonds. This phase will be focused on exploration and looting. Step 1, Nether Highway. We will be using soul sand as our pathway, so our soul speed boots give us a speed boost. Step 2, Nether Fortress. We will be conquering a fortress so we can get some blaze rods so that we can start making potions. Step 3, Bastion Remnants. We will be raiding bastions to get ourselves some crazy good loot. Diamond gear, lots of gold to barter with, and iron. First up, the highway is going to be in a grid pattern. There will be a main hub at the coordinates 0, 0, and one sub-hub at every 500 blocks in every direction. That way, I'll have explored lots of area, and anything I can find can easily be connected to my highway. I will be making this right on top of the lava to minimize dealing with unwanted lava. Here is 0, 0. We will mark this with a quartz pillar, and we're going to be making tunnels and bridges for 500 blocks in every direction. This will allow us to safely traverse and explore the nether without fear of ever getting lost. On this expedition, I found a zombie pigman riding a strider with a saddle. I knew in my heart of hearts that I needed that saddle for easy lava traversal, so I slaughtered him. And also on this trip, I found tons of gold that I took back to my base to barter and got almost a whole stack of arrows. This was a game changer because now I can shoot down ghasts, blazes, and piglin brutes from a distance. I continued working on the Nether Highway and collected all the gold I could get my greedy little hands on. I took my earnings back to the piglin, and he gave me some iron boots with soul speed 3. Now we're talking. I started installing the soul sand into the nether highway so I could get from A to B a little bit quicker. Next up, I knew there was a nether fortress pretty close to where my highway was, so I went and explored it a bit. I created a little safe space for me to hide in if I needed to. I killed a wither skeleton and got some coal, which I was very excited about. I also found my first 2 natural diamonds, which we will hoard until I figure out what to do with them. I found some nether warts, so now I can finally start farming them. I explored around the fortress a bit more and found a blaze spawner, and I got what I came here for. Some blaze rods. I only really needed 2, but I got a couple extra and decided to skedaddle. I used some of my very limited iron to make a bucket to hold lava, and this lava would be used to kill piglins and brutes without angering the entire bastion. I found my way to a bastion remnant and towered my way up. I very slowly and methodically towered and bridged my way down to the bottom of the treasure room, killing piglin brutes along the way, and encased myself with some netherite to steal all the gold and loot. And let me tell you, I was so happy to find this diamond sword with sharpness. I even got some netherite I could use to turn my sword into a netherite sword. I also found this loot looting 3 sword that I think I'll use to kill wither skeletons to try and get skulls later on. I excitedly hurried home, bursting full of loot, and started bartering away the insane amount of gold that I got. I kept noticing that the piglins would grunt angrily every once in a while because one on the outside kept trying to start a hunt. So I moved my bartering station onto the side of my house and enclosed it so that that wouldn't happen anymore. I even installed a hopper underneath to pick up all the barter loot so I didn't have to. I also used some of my extra iron to make an auto composter, which is so nice. Oh my god, being able to just put a bunch of organics into the chest and not have to manually do it is so great. Phase 3 is now complete. Now we move on to Phase 4. Cover me in debris. Step 1. Get full diamond gear from raiding bastions. Step 2. Get enough netherite upgrade templates. Step 3. Netherite mining. At this point, all I am focusing on is raiding bastions. If I want to kill the wither, I need to be protected, and diamond armor is really all I want. I raided a couple bastions and got tons of iron and gold and more netherite scraps, but no diamond gear. I realized that my storage is absolutely terrible, so I wanted to fix that and make it spacious and organized. After I finished that, I raided another bastion and got this diamond shovel. And then a piglin brute smacked the crap out of me, almost killed me in one hit, and then I fell into some lava and I died. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.